Thank you so much, firstly, for doing the work that you do, but also producing this really brilliant book, which became the very sort of source for all kinds of creative energies that we have put into creating this evening so far, but also what you will see coming together here through the lens of four very different, very diverse creative practitioners across poetry, architecture, design, and art.
Second century modernism is an invitation to look at what might have gone missing and what we could do to improve where we are. And so the specific provocation is, what if we added to abstraction and ideas, actually is the one. So what if we added to abstraction and ideas the concept of emotion of abundance?
It's been really exciting to thinking of this evening in terms of responses, because architects tend to frame what we build, what we design as responses to conditions, problems in the built environment. That's where we sort of sought common ground in terms of building something entirely new, something that we can all be proud of. So one of the things we were really wanting to do with this was open the conversation up to open a very architectural conversation of actually to beyond the profession.
Everywhere I go, I now understand architecture from this perspective. And they were saying, the person creates the scale as much as the scale itself.
Architecture becomes real when we interrupt it, when we inhabit it, when we make it our own. Not when it's admired from distance, but when people feel welcome enough to stay. That is the real measurement of good architecture. Like, perhaps that is what second century modernism asks for us. Simply just design better buildings, but to reconsider what architecture is for.
The architecture seeks to resonate with the environment, whether the urban one or the natural one. Their design are often the reinterpretation of a cultural narrative in local landscape, giving each product, in a way, a unique sense of place. This sensitivity transforms, in a way, the beauty into something that is meaningful, an expression of identity and dialogue between people and their surrounding.
For me, modernism, I guess, it means something different. And when I was reading Jennifer's book, I got very excited because it felt like a call for returning to that vivacious, you used the word abundance. I love that word, but I tend to use the word plenitude. The kind of fullness of existence being expressed through material culture.
So how might poetry infuse itself into architecture, and how might architecture be poetic?
Every poem requires certain things: light, space, memory, spirituality.
Or the architect as a kind of incredible subjective nexus through which money and capital get channeled through a client into the material world and express something really intangible and magical. It's just blows my mind.
When we do talk about, we return to the idea of a response with which I started. What do you think are, apt or, actionable responses in the very realm of many modernisms, or second century modernism particularly, that are able to arrive at, let's say, a middle point between emotional abundance and resource precarity?
I feel like community is the missing ingredient, or the only ingredient that will be able to move us forward. Especially because if you don't have a vision that fits the formula, you have to have it made somehow. And not being backed by a billionaire, you need many, many hands to make it work. You need people to come together and to realize it somehow.
One of the things that I started to speculate on was how much of each one work presented today is a personal journey, is a personal story, as a connectivity to a location, but there is something that links a bit your own self.
I think that we are in an era of great and extraordinary material abundance. more than any other era in history has had, in human history has had. But what we're missing is emotional abundance. And so maybe one of the provocations is, how do we get emotional abundance back into what we do as architects, but also as a global society of a diverse group of people?
That buildings may be like poems, but people are also like buildings, and that we need to make people better readers of their environment. I like to hope that when I teach people poetry, they become better readers of poetry, and then better readers of themselves, and then better readers of their environment, and then they demand more from their environment the more well-read of themselves they become. Read, read, read.